into gyroscopemedia.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG LLC.
Soulful House Station. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. We have another one, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special show today. You're going to see it. You're going to love it. I'm going to ask you to share it. Before we get started, I'm going to do a couple quick things. Number one is we're going to do a quick overview. And last week, as you know, we had Coffee Page, the flowettress for the Soulful House community, the house music community, and it was an excellent interview. You need to go back and check it out because she was sharing at the highest level. Then, what we're going to do, we're going to play the hottest song according to Track Source, because what we're going to do is we're only going to play a snippet, because Track Source, when you play that music, Facebook has this nasty little habit of shutting it down and muting us out. So we're just going to play a snippet. We're going to play a classic. We're going to bring on our special guest. Are you ready for this? TYRONE LOWE of the Legends. Now, TYRONE has interviewed some of the biggest people in the music industry. And yet, well, you're going to see. We're going to have some conversations around it. After that, when we finish that, we're going to play our song of the week. And, hey, that's it. So before I get started, I always like to do this. I want to give a big shout out to King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for putting our theme song together, and thank you so much. So Chuck, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's play the Journeyman. It's Anna Marie Johnson, and the song is "Wanna Be Down." It's been #1 for 2 weeks in Track Source in the Soulful House category. You're gonna recognize the track, because originally it was done by Brandy and R&B. So, Chuck, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. usual, we had to break it down a little bit because Facebook is this nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. So, hey, here's some things that are going on in the community. Hey, on May 13th, SMB is going to hold its annual Pink and White Affair. It's going to be honoring Alice Burwell, First Lady of SMB Entertainment Group. And what's very, very important is that her legacy lives on. And it lives on through this event, the Pink and White event. As you know, she passed from cancer. And cancer is just such an ugly, and I'm going to say it's a stupid disease because it takes the life from the host. And it's like stupid, but you know, we miss her, we love her. And on May 13th at Mr. East, there's going to be an event. It's going to honor her. That's going to be on May 13th. I said 15th, forget that. May 13th. It's going to be at Mr. East. And again, if you want to get more information, go, which I encourage you to go. You can reach out to SMB Entertainment Group. You can find them 100 different ways, whether you Google them, whether you go on Facebook. You can also reach out to Sultan. And you can also ask somebody. You'll find out. May 19th, AB Absolute is having a certain after-work party. And it's going to be at the Watt Hotel in Rawway from 5 p.m. to 10:30. For those of you who know or don't know, Kevin has been putting on events for some time. And he always brings quality events. So if you go, you will have a great time. Always has top DJs, always have top venues. And that's going to be May 19th starting then. Then on May 20th, you have the house of Salima Designs and Tyrone Lowe. And it's kind of a versus, but it isn't because they're all friends. And it's just an opportunity to share their wares. It's going to be a great fashion show. The VIP section is already sold out. So there's still tickets left. And if you know Hope and Naeem, you know they do everything first class. It's going to be at the Doubletree Hotel in Newark on Frontage Road. And for those of you who have not made arrangements, it's time to make the arrangements. In addition to that, there will be rooms available at a special price. This is going to be another class event. In addition to that, fashion show, there's going to be the music, and then they're going to have the great food. So they pulled out all the stops. Check it out. I've said it once, I said it twice, I said it again. They're Gucci clean. I'm Sears clean, but they're Gucci clean. And that's the kind of event you can expect. So that's May 20th. And, hey, just in, July 8th, on Enco Park, the 8th Annual Roselle House Music Festival. So as you know, that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, house music event in this area. And it's going to be a big, big event as usual. Wally B is the one who we got to get at in terms of finding out more, and more information is going to come out sooner than later. In addition to that, there's going to be a lot of other events. The season is starting to open up, so I'm going to ask that the people who are having events to get at us, tag us. You can tag me, Dan Shiver, get at Joy, Oliver, Joy, Oliver, and you let us know, and we'll talk it out. So hey, that's little stuff that's going on. So let's do this. Chuck, let's play the old school song of the week, and then we want to bring on our special guest. I've been looking forward to it, Mr. Tyrone Lowe. Chuck, hit that cut. ready, get ready, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. Wow, we are here. We are here with none other than Tyrone Lowe from the Legends. Yes. You know, let me just share a thought before we get started. I forgot how we connected, but it was a great connection how we connected, and I didn't realize it until like a couple of weeks back. We had never met in person, and so I went to Lehman College, where when we originally started having conversation, I was supposed to go there, but because of COVID, that knocked everything out. They shut everything down. So finally, about, I don't know, maybe last month or beginning, maybe the beginning of the last, whatever, something like that. Anyway, I had a chance to go over there on a couple of different occasions. I had an opportunity to meet with him, and we interviewed Christie Lobe. In addition to that, maybe 2 weeks ago now, give or take, we interviewed Anaya Weathers. And we got more stuff coming on his end and my end. So what I want to do is I want to take a little bit of time and introduce you to Mr. Lowe, and because we're going to be doing things together, so you're going to see more and more of him. So I wanted everybody on this side. So now, just so you know, of course we're on Facebook, but we're on YouTube, we're on Vimeo, we're on Roku, we're on the website, and a couple other places. And right now, I'm very, very happy to say, and we're growing. We're getting somewhere between 22 and 2,400, 22 and 2,400 views, live views every week. That's not counting what's shared and all the other stuff. So, hey, Mr. T, how are you?
Hey, I'm quite well. How are you, Dan?
Good. Well, you know, it's super exciting to have you here. And, you know, as usual, we're going to start off with the easy stuff and kind of roll into it. But, you know, for the people who haven't had the opportunity to meet you, just tell us a little about you and how you got started with music.
Okay, raised in Brooklyn. I was a childhood friend of the group Full Force. Old Lake Lou always used to buy these little 45s, you know, and I was like, wow, you know, I was kind of like interested with that. And then I used to clean the house of the lady across the street, Miss Jones, for $5 a week. And back then, 45s were like maybe like 40 cents, 50 cents and stuff like that. And I started building my collection with that. And then I started taking piano lessons, me and my sister, and we became classical pianists. I actually got really interested in music when I went to a friend's house out in Long Island, and he actually had a studio hooked up in his house, and he said, Tyrone, play something. And at that time, it wasn't even modified like the way it is now. You know, back then it was the 4-track cassette player and stuff like that. So I played something, then he said, play something else. And when he played it back, I heard both of the things that I played. And so from there, I went to store and got my first Casio C101 keyboard. And I bought me a Tascam 4-track cassette player, and I started playing music and trying to conduct my own stuff. And then from there, I wanted to take it further. So I started getting more into production by listening to other people. And from there, here I am. You know, I'm producing, I'm remixing, you know, things of that nature, modified. I bought like I'm in my studio right now, and I'm sort of like, you know, I stay with all the advanced equipment, you know, and then now I'm into everything, you know. I like photography. I like shooting videos, which I do. Most of you guys see me either on a plane or a train on Facebook traveling somewhere to actually, you know, do my encounters. And there it is. And so from there, I wanted to actually do something more. And so I said, I want to start a podcast or a show of my own. And I was influenced. I was actually a cameraman at Bronx Net TV. And, you know, my team would tell me, you know, Tyrone, you need to do your own show. And I'm like, y'all got to be out of your mind. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. And they really, really influenced me to do it. So I said, I'll do it. So I said, I don't know who I'm going to get for my show first. So I called my friend Frankie Paradise up. And he said he'll do the show. And so actually, he came down to BronxNet, and I didn't know, I had a clue of what I was going to ask and things of that nature. So we kept it on house music. And then when we got the playback and the viewers, we got over 300 views. I was like, okay. And then from there, I started doing other people. But I didn't know that I was actually going to take it to the point where I'm at right now, interviewing.
Hold. We're going to come to that a little bit later. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So listen, tell us about some of your early music influences, including popular artists.
I was really, before I really got into actual contemporary dance music and things like that, I love jazz. I love like Idris Muhammad, Patrice Rushen, Grover Washington, Miles, things like that. That was like the basic nurture of me actually getting into, graduating into other types of music. You know what I mean? So, and then I started listening to people like Howard Johnson.
Okay.
Like again, Patrice Rushen, stuff like that. And then one day somebody told me about, I think I was like 19 years old at the time. And a friend of mine, Rick, said, yo, Ty, you got to come down to this place called the Paradise Garage. And I'm like, for real? He said, yeah, but it's late. But I missed it twice because I had no idea that opened up at like 12 o'clock at night. So by the time he called me, I'm knocked out, But when I actually got there, it actually blew my mind. The music they were playing, the sound system, the people. It was a whole kind of like an experience for me to actually, get into that type of phase, man. And from there, I was listening to some of the stuff that Larry was playing, and they told me I could go down to like Downstairs Records, Vinyl Mania, and cop this stuff. So my first album that I actually bought was ESG.
Oh, really?
And stuff like that. And from there, my collection just grew. And then from there, I started playing other places because I really started playing like in after-hour spots. And then I got my break when I met Grandmaster Flowers back in the days, and I played at this place called Club Ecstasy.
Okay.
Club Ecstasy was one of the major clubs in Brooklyn. And then from there, I went to the Old Town Hill too. It was called Club Prince. And then from there, I started working with promoters like Elmo, the Magic Christian, William Day. And they also had a corporation called the Best of Friends, where they had different DJs playing different places, like up in Justine's and a place like that. And I started playing, from there, it just took me to a whole different level, man. And Elmo Christian had a place called Laughs too.
Okay.
Where my friend Gary Morton was actually playing. And then Gary would let me play because it was really amazing to see that this place was packed. And, and when you I just experienced the fact of when I'm playing, all these people are really responding to what I'm playing. So, and from there, it took me a whole different phase of different other places. And then from there, I went to the Cold Cabana where I really got my big break. And from there, skies was the limit.
So, before I go to the next question,
okay,
do you see, like, in this area, we don't really see the mega clubs anymore. Do you see mega clubs coming back at some point? Because now you have, nice places and things of that nature, but in some of these places you get hundreds, if not 1,000 people in there. I mean, what's your take on it? Is that gone, or you got to go to Las Vegas for that? What's your take on
Well,
that?
they have a few clubs that are still functioning. It all depends on the genre of.
But I'm talking about on the house music side.
No, I'm talking about different types of music,
Okay.
as R&B, hip hop, or whatever. They still have different clubs that are still functioning in that fashion. You know, my shout out to Kevin Woodley, which is
Oh yeah, sure.
actually still entertaining those clubs where people are actually coming to, where they're sort of like old school, you know, because they so used to the old school fashion, you know what I'm saying? And it's still around. It's just that you got to find it.
Yeah, you gotta look for it.
I wouldn't say that it's not as intensive as it was back in the days, but it still doesn't, you know, it still does exist.
Now, first of all, let me do a couple shout outs. Diane, how you doing? Holly Rock, what's up? All right, let me go to the next question. Now, how did you get into house music? Because you obviously were around before that. You were around when they called it club music. You were there at the beginning of hip hop and all this funk. How did you get into house?
Well, house music was something that I started listening to when I started being around, God bless the dead, Boyd Jarvis.
Oh, sure.
Now, Boyd had a different, distinctive style of music where, you know, he would play, but it was quite different. I can't really explain the type of music it was, but it was different. It was between disco, house, and contemporary type of dance music. But when I started going to the other clubs and I started listening to a lot of DJs and what they were playing, like I would listen to Tony Humphries on Kiss FM. And then when he went to Zanzibar, the whole style has just changed. It went into a house type of era, which informed me to the fact that I wanted to be like that.
Gotcha.
And so I started playing, like I said, then I joined Shore Record Pool.
Oh, really? With Bobby Davis?
With Bobby Davis back in the days. And at that time, Bobby was getting a lot of product because he also had an extension in Canada as well. So we was getting a lot of imports and a lot of stuff. And I'd be on the train sometime with milk crates coming home, you know, on the 4 train, hoping that somebody else would actually help me when I get to the train station. Or better than that, I would walk all the way from Canal Street, from Tommy Boy Records, all the way to Warner Brothers on 57th Street, and I would get music from them, you know, independently. And then the house thing came in, you know, where things like Mystique was like considered like disco,
right?
But everywhere you went, you know, you would hear their songs and stuff like that. So that was like a new era for me as far as music's concerned. Disco going into the house, to the house thing. Right. But then again, you know, my house home was actually the Paradise Garage.
Gotcha.
Where they actually played, where Larry played certain things, and you know, even though he didn't mix like he was, but he just played songs that were just different. And so I would play stuff like Wide Boy Wake, and stuff like that, which he would play because he had the system. You know, the system was quadraphonic, and from there, man, being in a record pool, you know, you started getting all different types of music, and I just started doing house music. I started actually being at home, producing my own house music, and or sometimes if I was playing out somewhere, I would put a drum machine on while I'm actually while the crowd is actually intensifying, and I would play my keyboards.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And that was because Boyd Jarvis used to do that.
Okay.
You know, Boyd used to actually put on a drum track, and there he is playing the keys on top of it, and it was a whole different type of experience. You know.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Bobby Davis, Shore Record Pool. Well, you mentioned Shore Record Pool, Bobby Davis. So we probably were in the record pool at the same time and just didn't know each other.
Well, my pickup days were Fridays.
I used to go on
Fridays. And also my friend Cloud9, and he was also one of the in-house producers there. So we used to go right in the back of the studio. I know, you know, because Bobby had a studio in the back.
Yes.
And he had a lot of people coming in actually creating tracks. And that's the first time I actually went back there when my friend Cloud9 went back there, him and Walter. And we stood up there all night long. He started creating this basic track, and it was kind of like crazy, but it was hot, you know, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, listen, folks, if you are on now, we have Tyrone Lowe of the Legends. We got a lot more to talk about, and some of the people that he's interviewed. You can catch us on YouTube right now, Vimeo. We're on Roku right now. We're on Twitter. Yeah, no, Twitch right now. We're in a lot of places on the website, so you can catch us in a lot of different places. So, so let's. You knew some of the people from back in the day. Name some of your favorite artists from back in the day, and and some of the people you're listening to now.
I'm listening to currently. I listen to a lot of everybody, to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you. I get so much music. My my first influence that really I listen to, I still do, is visual.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay.
music's got me.
You got me. Okay.
I love
Prelude.
that because I love to start off with that because that actually sets the trend for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me to go forward with my sets. And
Mm-hmm.
I listen to I like Javon. I
Sure.
listen to a lot of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Punch.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Punch is like I like Punch because he's taking a lot of the old school and he's taking it and he's integrating it into something that's really a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I was really a big Colonel Abrams fan.
Sure. Uh-huh.
He was like different too, and that was bringing it back to the Boy Jarvis era.
Mm.
On my show, I also did an interview about Boy to contribute to him, where I had most of the people that he actually knew
Mm-hmm.
on my show, and I
Mm-hmm.
did a contribute to him. And you know, um, I can't say that I really listen to anybody in particular because I'm really listening to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, like nobody's got a lock on all the great music.
Hmm.
I mean, although let's say if you listen to certain artists, there's going to be consistency, but at the same time, say Billy Bob could come out with a hot track, and it's all about Billy Bob. So
Right.
yeah. How about this now? Where is house music headed?
I think that actually it's heading to the point where it's growing
Mm-hmm.
because it was basically like Chicago, New York, and now it's heading out to the South where it's
Mm-hmm.
actually they're doing their things out there with it. Europe is always something different, as far as the music scene, and also the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as right now in the United States and things like that, I believe that it will grow, it will take off. It's up to the DJs to keep playing it. I think it's a good brand. It's a different type of music, it's a different type of style. Um, Everybody really getting into it now.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's deep house, gospel house, regular house, Afro house, especially the Afro scene.
Yeah, it's growing, right?
It's more broadband right now,
Mm-hmm.
and when you go to most of the clubs, a lot of DJs are playing Afro house, and then it goes into whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on how you're actually reading the flow of the crowd these
Mm-hmm.
days.
Right, right. Now, let's. You got a lot of stuff that you do, like DJ, mixing, remix, show host. I mean, so let's go one at a time here. How did you get into DJing, and who was some of your early influences?
Okay, Grandmaster Flowers
Mm-hmm.
was Maboya.
Okay.
We're talking about jocks from way back.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little dude going out to Reeves Beach back in the days, and I used to watch Maboya, Grandmaster Flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and other DJs that were really influential at the time. There was Charisma Funk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these guys were really like top notch to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? I want to be like them. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I had a partner called Baby Ray, which we actually, it was actually his system at the time, but I became a part of it. It was we were called Baby Ray and DJ Star at the time, and we dominated the parks in Brooklyn.
Mm.
We never lost the battle. I mean, whoever came up there, we never lost. And we around my way was the BCM Park, and we used to play up there, and we didn't need permits or anything like that. We just hopped right into the to the light poles, and we got power, and there it was. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
now, I actually enjoy doing that because it kept the kids off the streets for a while. We had the cops liked it because it became very major to them. They don't have to worry about kids getting crazy out in the street and stuff. So it became very regular. And then it was St. John's Park where my boy DJ Blue used to be out there. Flowers used to be out there and stuff like that. And we just loved doing that. It was like entertaining the community in a sense,
Now, okay, we know you played in the U.S., but you've
Right.
also played out of the U.S. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
I've I played in Paris
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, Los Angeles. I've done a lot of things like I was supposed to go to Amsterdam a few times, but it just never worked out. California's kind of different, it's more broadband. I want to go to Africa. I had a chance to go there, but like I said, when the pandemic actually happened, things shut down for a while and stuff. I've traveled quite a few places and played, and I really enjoyed it. But I really found out through this whole ordeal is that United States don't really give their DJs the props like they really supposed to.
Okay.
When you go to like the UK, Japan, and places like that, they give you royalty, man. They really make you feel good out there. My dream is to go to Ibiza. I really want to go out there and experience some of that out there, because I heard the love they give to you out there is like outstanding. One of the DJs that I really admired the most is Louis Vega, because he's worldwide, very humble dude, and he's actually doing it, and he's a big influence on a lot of DJs as well, because he's going to a lot of foreign places and he's actually just doing his thing, and I love it. Just to see that you got somebody that's actually doing it, and you want to follow after them in a sense. It's quite admirable.
Yeah. No, it just wondering, because most DJs never leave the state, maybe not even the county, and you've played in different parts of the world. I mean, how do you get on the radar like that? Just was wondering. How do you get
It's actually who you know, who you meet.
Gotcha.
You could be in a club and somebody walks up to you and say, "Well, listen, I own a club in such and such and such, and I'll be honored to have you as a guest DJ at that club." So what they do, they pay for your hotel, they pay for your air flight, and you make a substantial deal with them as far as how much you want to get paid, and they take care of you. And while you're out there, you're networking with other people as well. Especially if you do a good job, and you get out there and do your thing, and you meet people, and next thing you know, you're on a plane to somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I was scared at the first time I really went away, because when I went by myself. Some people take entourage with them, but I mean, if they could afford it, but I've never actually did that. I went by myself, and I pray to God that, listen, let me be safe. But it was a nervous experience, but after a while you get used to it, and I wish I could still do it again. Some more.
Now, what's the same and what's different about playing overseas?
You can play what you want to play.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because they seem to be more open to the music, where if you're reading a dance floor here, you have to play particular things to keep the dance floor going, in a sense.
Gotcha.
Like maybe the top tens, a lot of classics and stuff like that. Where, like in the UK, they're so open to the music, that you can play certain things, and they'd be like, yeah, they're really liking that. You know what I'm saying? And it makes you feel good knowing that you can actually make them react the way they do. They also have in the UK, they have a genre called jungle.
Sure.
Where you play that, they go crazy. It's like boom, tap, 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 boom, tap. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And while you're out there, you're incorporating all different types of music. And most places that I went to, a lot of DJs has given me music, and I bring them back to the States here, and I play them, and they be like, "Yo, Ty, where you get that from, man?" And I'm like, "Well, I got it from overseas." You know what I mean? And I still have a lot of DJs that's out there that's still sending me production. You know, and I still play it. You know, right now I play for a radio station for the last 7 years called LWR,
Okay.
and it's like you can play a lot of new stuff if you're programming it right, and it's like they love it out there. Now, if I had to play it out here in the United States, it'll be different because you got to stay with the classics.
Right.
And if you want to break a record, you have to know when to break that record. You know, one thing I learned about Louis Vega, he doesn't start off with new stuff in the middle of the night. He waits till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, then he
Right.
starts putting the new stuff on, and that's a very, very smart way of actually breaking records. You know, and if anybody want to know what a DJ really supposed to do is, we are supposed to break records.
That's part of what I got, right? Right. Well, I will tell you, just going back to what you were saying, if you, like, okay, so watch this. So I've never DJ'd out of the United States, but I did do a party for this group from France.
Okay.
They came in, they were from the Merck Pharmaceutical Company,
Okay.
some division they had out of France. So in the middle, so I'm prepping for it because I was prepared for my events. I'm trying to buy all this French music and things of that nature. I'm here and I'm all over the place and trying to find.
And you didn't need it. You really didn't need it.
Hey, a minute! Don't take away my punchline. So I go in there and I didn't even realize, because see, prior to them, so let's say the event started, I'm just gonna make up a time, say 5 o'clock.
Right.
So I was there about maybe 20 to 5, quarter to 5. I'm just warming up, and I'm warming up to some sort of jazz beat music, and then when I come in, they start dancing right off the bat. Let me tell you something. I gotta tell you, by the time I hit the tracks, it was up the tracks, and I didn't need. They knew all the English stuff, and you know what else was crazy about it is that I don't know. I'm getting goosebumps talking to you. The party, the way they party, the way they react to DJs and to the music, it was just incredible.
Right.
Incredible. And I said to myself, "Hey, one day,
Right.
I'll be So,
Well, you find yourself with them or different imported countries that you really don't have to work that hard to really get them off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
It's
come.
different like being in the States. You know, you have to play, like I said, you have to play things that they know, and you know, you break records different ways, and you really can't break too many records over here like that. Because I don't know if they're not acceptable to it or whatever it is, but it happens. But you just have to have a routine in order to actually do it. You know.
I want to give a shout out here to DJ Exotic. DJ Exotic, what's up? Well, DJ Exotic.
He's going to be on my show tomorrow. You know that, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's going to be on my show tomorrow. Yeah, I'm interviewing him.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to have some announcements to make soon too. And we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, DJ Exotic, dope DJ, producer, etc., etc., etc. But anyway, he's got this thing that he's doing. But anyway, you're gonna see some announcements. All right. How about this? Let's talk about mixing, remixing. You know, what have you done? What's on the table?
I've done a lot of stuff for Full Force. I've remixed a lot of their stuff back in the days. I've gotten some imports from different people where just a cappella, and I've created the music around them, and I send it back to them. I can't really say what the turnout was, because when you do it, sometimes you don't even hear from them no more. But most of them, about a year later, they'd be like, "Hey, Tyrone, the song is big over here." You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But as far as compensation, you don't really, the monetary thing, there's no real money in house music in a sense. So the best thing that you can actually accept is just a good accommodation from it. You know, just knowing that people are really reacting to it in a sense. And that's basically it. You know, yeah.
Now, you know, okay, so I'm going to guess people like Louis Vega, DJ Spen. By the way, Louis Vega is still on my bucket list. I interviewed DJ Spen. Kenny Dope is on my bucket list. Manu is on
Right.
my bucket list.
Hmm.
Timmy Regisford. I guess the higher you go, the harder it is. And or to go back to what you say, it's a combination of that and or the relationships you have in place. Can you hear me
Right.
now? Anyway, so here's my question. I'm, like, why do you think that there's so little money for most people in this house music genre? What do you think?
Well,
But let me just add one other part to it.
mhm.
But isn't it the same in other genres like hip hop, rock and roll, whatever, until you
No
get
way.
to a certain level? What's your
I,
thoughts?
well, the difference between that is that hip hop has a lot of sold out concerts where you don't, I never heard of a house music sold out concert. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The money, due to the fact of when the economy changed, music was sold a lot more at that time. A lot of artists were going out in concerts, and that's how they was actually making their money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
right now, with the house music thing, is that it doesn't really make money like that because it's not really, to me, it's not really promoted like that. You
Mm.
know, I've never heard of like a house music venue like in Madison Square Garden,
Right.
radio music hall, but you will hear about it like in hip hop.
Right.
Hip hop is a venue itself that makes a lot of money because these people are really putting a lot of money behind it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are not really putting a lot of money behind house music. The way that you can really make money is like Louis Vega and Ron Trent and Span. They travel.
They travel. Right. Gotcha.
When you're traveling, that's like a different outlet, which actually gives you a residual
Mm-hmm.
income.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm
Wow.
saying? Because you're seeing the people out there really listening to it and they're buying it. Where in the United States and stuff like that, we're listening to stuff, but a lot of people go to track stores,
Mm.
things like that. And when they get the royalty, when they get the paperback and stuff, they see that they really generally don't make anything that's
Yeah.
really
Very low.
outstanding, like how they thought they would.
Yeah. Yeah. You get a check. Five
Right,
dollars and 68 cents.
right, exactly. Where where in hip hop, these guys are living luxury.
Yeah.
They're making the money to live that lifestyle.
But again, I go back to, is it only at the highest levels? And the reason I say that is because I know quite a few hip hop guys, for example, who
Hmm.
work other jobs because they can't make it. But um, but then too, if you look at a Spen or Lee Vega,
Hmm.
that's all they've done for the past 30 years.
Right.
And I don't know that most people know the level of commitment
Hmm.
it takes and your willingness to go hard for year after year after year
Right.
and to be able to get now. I just saw a thing. Jahad Muhammad is in Portugal. God
Hmm.
bless him. I'm happy to hear that. I mean,
Right.
he's a local guy for us, but if you meet him, he's the nicest guy you could possibly meet.
I can
He's
imagine. Yeah.
he,
Hmm.
he he is. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. But I'm watching now, saying, man, he's out there. Mark
Hmm.
Francis, who I love.
Yeah.
Mark
Yeah.
Francis has been to. He was just in South Africa and all of
Yeah.
these places.
I had him on my show as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we talked about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying to myself, I mean, you're a guy that's traveling, and it's like, man, I mean, I talk to so many DJs that want somebody to fly them out somewhere. You've been to Los Angeles. You've been to,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been all over the world. I mean, really, you got this one
Well,
place you want to
I'm
go.
gonna tell
But
you I'm gonna tell you exactly what the secret is,
okay,
Dan.
tell us the secret.
Good management.
Good management. Okay.
If you have good management in any type of genre that you're actually dealing with, you can
Mm,
go places.
okay.
Some people have management, but they only limited and not able to actually go but so far.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have good management, it can take you to a whole different phase.
Mm,
That's all that really is.
mm,
Um, if you got a good manager that's really willing to really take you a whole different way of a whole mile, you can go places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they're just want to be a manager just to be a part of you, you're just going to stay exactly where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm fortunate to know people that know people that know people that know people that know people,
Gotcha.
and that's what gets you to the point of saying, well, listen, yo, Ty, you got a shot to do this, man. Don't mess it up. It
Okay.
make me look bad. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And you go out there and do your thing, man, and you develop a rapport with them,
Mm-hmm.
and you stay humble. You know, you don't act
Right.
like you starstruck. You just come out there like you're just going up right into your living room and you're getting ready to do a set.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And all the benefits will actually come through like that. But it's all about management. It's all
Okay.
about management. Even in any type of craft that you do, good management. That's what takes you places.
Gotcha. So part of that sounds like when you're saying good management, it means that person who is managing you is connected, actually actively working his or her connections.
Exactly.
That okay, all right,
You
okay.
know, they play a portion, a real good part of what you do and how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, if they're willing to go out there and make connections with other people through networking, and they say, well, listen, I got a guy named TYRONE LOWE, man. I think he'll be perfect for what you're doing right now. And they show him a little preview and give him a little bit of history. They'd be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's give him a shot, because a lot of promoters are always looking for something new.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
know, and you know, and not only that, they're always looking for somebody new, because sometimes their primary DJ they have, they be like, well, the crowd's like kind of like he's starting to fade out a little bit, even though he has a
Mm.
name. So now we need some new blood. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Something different, and
Gotcha.
you know that's what happens. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you go out there and just do your thing, and stay humble. Don't think
Yeah.
that you're better than nobody else, because you're not.
Right.
When you start that type of attitude, that's when God halts you. He's
Right.
like, you know, everything should be based on equilibrium as far as what you do, because the benefits is there if you're humble and you really have the patience to wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've met a lot of guys that's like, you know, they think that they're all that and all this, but it breaks down to the theory of what is a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
A DJ is somebody that actually um, is an entertainer.
Right. Right. Right.
There's no big eyes and little U's as far as being a DJ. And
Right.
everybody can't be a DJ because they don't really know the fundamentals of it, unless you come from the old school, like me.
Okay.
Uh, when I was in Shore Record Pool, we had to have feedback sheets. I know if you
Yes.
Shore, you know what
I
it
remember.
is.
Go. I was
You
in Wicked Records prior to that.
WBLS with your top 25s every month,
Mm-hmm.
every week.
Really,
And if
every
you
week.
wasn't doing that, Bobby wasn't giving up anything.
Right. Yeah.
Because they got it right there in the computer. Oh man, you wasn't reporting. Nah, man, I can't give you nothing. I see that you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
You know, you go to the radio, you go to like Warner Brothers, or you go to Elektra,
Mm-hmm.
and you go see Bruce, which was actually one of the guys from with A&R,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll tell you, well, you know what, man, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can't help you because you're not really supporting the system like you're supposed to.
Right.
Now, I used to go up, you know, everybody used to go up to Arthur Baker, man, streetwise.
Sure.
Arthur was signing everybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
you know, if you lick your lips the right way, man, yo, Arthur sign you, man. And next thing you know, you got a record up there. You go up there, he got like crap, you know. I mean, he started off a New Edition with that,
he
that, you know.
he was that guy.
Yeah, he was that guy.
Yeah,
But
back
what I'm
then.
saying is, it's basically who you know,
Mm.
what you know, and how you actually have a basic approach to people that you actually deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm glad that somebody mentored me in a sense where, you know, where I'm at today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm grateful.
Yeah. Let's talk about some other aspects of what you do. Videography, photography, and editing. You know, what have you done and what's on the
Okay,
horizon? Uh-huh.
I do it. Well, most of the time you see me traveling, I'm shooting music videos,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm doing a photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, through all this, God has blessed me to the point where now I have my own video production studio
Mm-hmm.
where I can actually interview, I can do photo shoots, and I can do music videos. About 2 weeks ago, my first shoot in my video studios was a group, Allure.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I shot them, and which is actually bringing me other people, which I'm not going to really talk about because it's not my place to talk about it right now. But you will be seeing a whole lot of other people coming down to the studio, which I would actually be making music videos, and I would be actually doing photo shoots. I actually started doing music videos when I got to BronxNet, and I seen that it was accessible for me to learn this trade, as far as using a camera and also editing. And I knew how to use a camera, but I was really didn't have the patience for editing. So I had to get persevere one day and get Final Cut or whatever that I use, which I use a variety of, and I started editing, and then it gave me more confidence to do what I do now. So I'm shooting a lot of upcoming artists right now. I'm doing a lot of photo shoots right now. Besides that, and then I can work in any TV network because I'm in the control room. When you came upstairs, when you came to BronxNet, you see that I'm all over the place in the control room, and it's like when I did Anaya and I did Coco, I was like, when I did Christie Lobe, I'm like, y'all stay right here. I adjust the cameras myself, and I go upstairs and I do my thing. And experience is the best teacher, man. My whole thing is that if you're gonna get into any type of craft, man, learn how to do everything. Don't depend on everybody to do it, even if you have a crew, because you might have a crew and somebody else might be there. Then you have to do both things,
right?
Or sometimes you have to do it all,
right?
So I'm gifted to that point where I can go up in BronxNet in the control room and I can work anything, and it's beautiful.
For the people who don't know what BronxNet is, tell us what BronxNet is.
BronxNet TV is actually a cable station where it's actually based in the Bronx. I shoot out of Lehman College. BronxNet TV is there, and my show is actually broadcast from there in the Bronx at every Sunday at 8:30 on the local cable channel. My show right now is all 5 boroughs in New York City. I'm also in the UK and also in South Africa right now, and I'm extending it to the point where I want to go to like Japan, Korea, and put it out there because it doesn't really do too much here in the States, but out there, they're just loving it. You can catch me every Wednesday in the UK, broadcasting. And also, like I said, LWR backs me up with that as well, and they allowed me to interview some of their artists out there as well, and it's like, I don't have a problem trying to find artists these days. People are emailing me now, and I'm loving it.
Ooh, I get to that now. Okay, so out of all the things you do you have a? Wait a minute. Let me do this. The legends. Let's talk about the legend. Tell us, what's that about? How did that come about? People that you've interviewed, whatever you can share.
I've introduced a lot of people, man. Melba Moore, D-Train, Status 4, Black Ivory, a lot of people, man. I mean, a lot of people. And when I first started doing it, I really didn't have no confidence. I thought it'd just be something that I was doing just to be doing. But when I seen that a lot of managers was calling me up and said, well, Tyrone, I seen your show, man. Do you think that you can actually do such and such and such and such? I'd be glad to.
Okay.
When Tony Lee and Status 4 came to BronxNet, they brought a crew from England also to actually filming as well. Vincent Semelli was there, and it was like really, really nice, And then I was supposed to start a new project called House Music Party TV, but the pandemic killed that. Where I was going to turn. Well, you've been to the studio. You can see I could turn. I could turn actually any type of showcase that I really want to into anything. And I was going to start this House Music Party TV where I was going to have resident DJs, about 35 dancers on the floor, and I was going to have different people coming and host and talk to interview with them. But it was going to look like they're actually in the club. Then after that, I was going to do like a Soul Train house party where I was going to get real house music dancers to actually do their thing, man. But the pandemic killed it. But it's coming back, though. It's coming back.
Yeah.
And I have another show that's based from Africa, where I met a lady that's going to co-star with me. That's coming pretty soon, where we're going to talk about African culture, different types of elements as far as statues, spears, masks, things of that. Very informative and very educational. So that's a whole different trend from the legends. But I'm glad to be a part of the African history as well.
Yeah, because we talked about pre-pandemic, because I had an idea to do something along those lines.
Yeah, we talked about a few
Yeah,
things.
and
Yeah,
then of course the pandemic hit, and then that was that. So,
right.
but folks, watch for this. This is going to come. This is going to come. This is going to come. I mean, everything is set up there, the studio and all that kind of stuff. And then too, in Jersey, I have an access to a studio too. So all this stuff. But now I got to tell you, their studio I've been to in the Bronx is off the hook, and they got up-to-date equipment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So watch for that. Let's not wipe that off the table. Look for it.
Yeah.
Okay. How about
Well, listen, just for the record, I like Dan, man, because I said, you know what? I like Dan because he has good diction, he has good humor, and we talk about things and we can make jokes about any type of thing. The humor is there. We're crazy sometimes, and look out for him, because periodically I'll be having him come to my show to co-host with me, because the chemistry is nice, and that's where it's at.
And vice versa.
Right.
I want to introduce everybody. Hey, listen to this. Do you have a personal favorite out of all the things you do? I think you do everything, and I like to joke about this, except being a notary. You might even be a notary. I mean,
well, my favorite thing that I really enjoy in my whole life is my 13 grandkids and my 4 great-grands.
Okay.
They inspire me a lot, because I see what the society is actually doing to kids. And I'm blessed to be in every one of their lives, to the point where I can direct them. When they see me on TV or on YouTube or something, they be like, "Ooh, there go granddaddy," and they be like, and my grandson be like, I want to be like you, granddaddy, when you grow up. And I'd be like, "No, you don't. You want to be better than me." I sit down and I talk to them about the different ways they have to carry themselves. Don't sag your pants below the belt. Try to be an authoritarian. Don't be doing this because somebody else is doing it. I truly try to express what peer pressure is. If nobody wants to accept you, then just be yourself. And I think a lot of kids need to be nurtured that way, to the fact that they don't become a statistic in society of failing. You know what I'm saying? I think that at this point it would hurt me very much to see that one of my grandkids will be a part of that failure. And so I stick with them a lot. And when I'm not doing anything, that's who I'm with. That's who I'm talking to on the phone. My daughters are great. My son is great. And, I try to be a good example as far as being a father and a grandfather. That's my most important thing, because you got to have people. Well, put it like this: it's people that make you, and it's people that breaks you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I try to get to the point of my life where my strength comes from. My strength comes from them. You know what I'm saying? And when they see me doing all these things, they be like, "Wow!" And they call their friends up. "Hey, my grandfather's on TV." And this and that, and it's good to know that I influence them that way, to the point where they are very interested in doing what I'm doing. And I know that at least one out of the 13 is going to carry on my legacy. I have 2 prospects already.
Okay.
Yeah. And you don't believe it. I have my granddaughter, Michelle. Michelle's only 7 years old. And I can tell her, I could bring her right here in the studio, man, and tell her to turn this on and turn that off and turn this on and stuff like that. And she does it.
Hey, I just need to share something with. First, let me get a couple of shout outs here. Sheila Johnson, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
That's my girl. That's my sister.
David Barber's in the house. David Barber is a dope DJ. I'm trying to get him to give me some more stuff here. I play his track on the regular. Right. Anyway, but and then of course DJ Exotic's in the house. Anthony Carter, what's up? And Anthony and DJ Exotic have shared. Everybody, please share, share, share. We have Tyrone Lowe, the legend, on here. The legend from the Legends is on. Hey, listen to this. Where do you want to go with the Legends? I mean, for those of you who don't know, tell them. Well, you guess you did kind of say a little bit about the Legends, but where do you want to go with the Legends? Put it that way.
I made a promise to myself, which I'm actually starting right now. When I get to my 1,000th episode, I'm going to start actually editing it into a movie.
Okay.
Which I'm starting now because it's going to take a long time because I have so many episodes and a lot of people. I have to edit it to the point where it sinks into the point where it makes sense, where it keeps the viewer's eyes glued to what's going on. We're talking about old school, new school, and upcoming artists, you know, sharing their strength, open experiences in this thing called the music industry. And this way it educates the newcomers so they don't have to go through the hardship of, you know, of what other people went through. And the Legends keep it real for them because they've been there first. And a lot of them made a lot of success. Right. So I think it's more informative to learn from the Legends that actually been there, that has made it, you know, to the point where they say, well, this is what he did to make it. I believe that I should be able to do the same thing as well. You know, the music industry is a very cunning, baffling, insidious type of business. And if you don't really understand the fundamentals of it, man, you would definitely get clobbered, you know, monetarily. Because, and another thing that I always used to tell a lot of artists when I usually sit down and talk to them is that sometimes your manager would work with the record company as well to rob you. And it's true.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you're wondering why you did a sold out concert and you got pennies to you don't have nothing to look forward to. And I'm like, because it's a lot of stuff, man. So you have to be careful, know your business, learn the fundamentals, and be around the right type of people that's actually going to be there for you to trust in this thing called the industry, because it's very nasty, you know?
Right. You know, I hear you talking, and I guess a lot of us who get into this business just see the glitz and the glamour, or their perceived glitz and glamour, but what they don't see is behind the scenes and the things, the pitfalls and the traps that you need to be aware of, and having the right people around you. I mean, look, they say birds of a feather flock together. They say if you're the smartest one in the room, you need to get into another room. But I think you also got to say, hey, am I around the right people?
Right.
And you know, and then how do you figure that out? I mean, you feel things going in the right way. They're giving you good information. You're learning. I mean, like, how do you know that, hey, wait a minute, these are the right people? And I'm not.
Well, you have to be vibically inclined, like what Christie Lobe says when she was on the show. You know, you have to be the right type of people. But if you feel that the vibes isn't right with them, don't be afraid to let them go. Just let them go. You know, we're talking about your legacy. We're talking about your future here. And you can have 1 to 5 people in your corner, but you're going to find at least 2 or 3 of them that's not really in your corner. They're in the business to be a part of you, just to be a part of you. But it's not for you. It's for their sake. You know, they're looking at the monetary thing. And like I tell any artist, you know, if you're looking for money, it's not going to come right away. You have to do it from like the heart. I always tell everybody, especially, and I keep it real for myself, you always have to look at day one when you really wanted this. You have to keep that concept every day. You know, I'm hungry. I want this. Don't get too comfortable. You know, and just be polite to everybody and be informative to everybody. You know, let them know. Listen, don't be afraid to let that person go. If he's not really benefiting you in a type of way, let him go. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. It's not going to hurt you, because we want to be around positive vibes. You know, I'm fortunate to be around a lot of positive people. I talk to a lot of people, and I hear some negative things, but I don't care. You know, I mean, the negative things I plug into the wall. That gives me a charge to say to the fact, well, listen, I I'm gonna do something to really blow their mind right now, and I usually do. You know what I'm saying? And remember one thing, um, when you're climbing up that corporate ladder, you're going to incorporate haters. But
Okay.
remember one thing: your haters are your best fans. They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They're always tuning in to see what you're doing. They want to talk about it. I've heard um, things like I'm stuck on myself, this and that, and of course I'm stuck on myself because this is what I want to do for myself. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to be discouraged because you say certain things about me. I'm looking at the fact that you're showing me interest by saying something about me, because if I wasn't doing anything, you wouldn't be saying nothing about me anyway. You wouldn't even have a common interest in what I'm doing. And I still give them props, and I still pray for them, because a lot of people get into a lot of things that are habitual, but they have no idea of knowing that they don't even know any better about certain things.
Right.
If you want something, just go for it. You're gonna have to go through those channels, but eventually
Right.
you'll get there.
Yeah. The dance.
And like when my movie come out, that's gonna be really mind blowing. It's gonna be like it's gonna be crazy. It's like the Legends is gonna be about people that actually went through phases. I got some upcoming artists I'm not even going to talk about right now,
Okay.
but I'll give you one though,
Okay.
and whatnot. I'm just going to give you just one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you gonna
Friday, I am interviewing Anthony Hamilton.
All right.
All right.
All
And
right.
that's very breathtaking to me because, and I got some other people too, but it's not for me to say it right now.
Okay.
If you want to see them,
Yeah.
you tune in.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got.
But I'm just going to give you a heads up on that. I believe that's taking it to a whole different level, dealing with Anthony, and he has a new track coming out, and I have the opportunity to hear from his management to say, "Well, Tyrone, I want you to interview Anthony Hamilton on the show." I was like, "Okay," you know what I'm saying? And I said, "Okay." And so it's been confirmed. So y'all look out for that show and other shows. Like I said, I do a lot of upcoming artists as well. I don't discriminate artists because I believe that everybody has a story to be told, good, bad, or indifferent.
Right. Now, just so you know, too, if you go back, you can find he interviewed Evelyn King. Of
Yeah.
course, he had Carmen Brown. I mean, just so many people, just so many high level people. Of course, Full Force with Bowlegged Lou and those guys, and just so many people. He mentioned earlier Black Ivory and Tony Lee. And Tony Lee, and I was able to interview Tony Lee on my show because that was thanks to Tyrone. So these are all good things here. Really, just want to have this one thought here and share, and just to get your opinion on it.
Right.
And it's not only what you know, but it's who you know and how you make people feel. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I believe that your first basic approach to people is a very important factor of how people receive you. I just happened to run into somebody in the village one day when I was just out there, and he walked up to me and said, "Hey, listen, you got that show, The Legends, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You know what? I've been watching you for a while. How would you like to interview Najee?" And I stood there, I was frozen. And I said, "Yeah, why not?"
Okay.
And I had him on my show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got it, and which opened up a lot of doors for me, because there's Tony Exum, which is actually another jazz artist. My show is versatile, not just house. I have a lot of things going on with it. I have people that write books and things of that, where it actually upscales and it shows the versatility of your hosting skills. I walk around different places, and I'm amazed that people actually watch my show, and they be like, "Well, listen, I know such and such and such, and they're a very big fan of your show. How do I get in contact with you to get it?" I said, "Well, listen, man, here it is right now. Just give me your telephone number and whatever, and we'll make it happen." I got to say that I'm very God blessed when it comes to the things that I do, because I believe that even though I shoot movies, I shoot videos. I'm going to be shooting some movies pretty soon. Um, I'm interviewing, I DJ, I remix, I produce, and all that. I believe that these are the skills that God has supposed to have been giving me, as supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that anything that you encounter as far as a skill is what is God given.
Mm-hmm.
And don't miss the train. Use it all up right now, because sooner or later you won't be able to do these things no more. And don't think that you're not going to get 80 or 90 years old when you won't be able to do it no more. My whole thing is that when I get 80 and 90, when I get up in my hundreds, I'm claiming that, that I can sit back and watch my legacy like I'm watching the James Cagney movie. You know what I'm saying? And, and I'd be thrilled by that. So I'm 100 years old, and I'm getting up and I'm saying to myself, baby, just crank me up to the table, and let me do my thing. I
Roll
want
me
to
up
do
to the
the
table.
show right now. You know what
Yeah, just roll me up to the table, all right?
But my whole thing is that anything that actually that's God given to you, utilize it. People are going to talk about you, people are going to make fun of you and stuff like that, but they can't take away what God has gifted you.
That's right.
And if everybody look and see that I'm always doing something, I'm shooting a music video, I'm taking photos, I got the legends, I'm doing a whole lot of other things, that I don't even do online. I cut hair,
I didn't know that.
I do a lot of stuff. Yeah, I do a lot. I cut hair,
Okay.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I do. I like to cut hair.
I was laughing because I cut hair too, my own. I just get a razor.
Yeah,
done.
but I'm just saying, I have a lot of things going on with me that I really do. I want to be able to sit back and say one day, Tyrone, job well done. I look at a lot of guys like Javon and all of those guys that's actually doing extraordinary producers, and I take my hat off to them. I admire people like Sammy Rock that is doing things like that. I admire people that's doing like soft-spoken house music, like my girl Sheila Johnson and stuff. Everybody has a little bit of something in them.
Right.
And it's good to know that they're utilizing them in a form where it makes them feel good, and everybody accepts it. Right. Everybody's not going to accept you for what you do, but out of all the categories that I do, somebody accepts at least one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And if they don't, well, hey, go check out something else that I do. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Hey, listen, we're down to the wire here. Okay. And so any final thoughts you want to highlight, and how do people follow and support you? Any final thoughts you want to highlight?
Okay, well, I play for LWR, London World Radio. I'm there. You can hear me every Thursday and Saturday, 11 o'clock Eastern time here, and on Saturday, 7 o'clock here. I'm there I've been playing it for 7 years, and I play a high quality amount of house music. My shows come out like whenever I post them. I shoot every week. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at lowetyrone@gmail.com.
Spell it.
LOWETYRONE @gmail.com, or lowercase, or Tyrone Lowe, TYRONE LOWE 346 @yahoo.com. I'm also on Instagram too, but I forgot what it was. I guess it's @Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I want to shout out to all the people that's actually trying to do something with their lives, regardless if it's production or being a preacher or being a cook or something like that. We are good at something. So I want to shout out to all of those. And I want to shout out to you, Dan, because, I love me some Dan Shiver, man. I always make fun of his name. So last time we talked on his phone, it was Rabbi Shivers. It sounds Jewish, you know what I'm saying? But it's been an honor. It's been an honor.
Hey, it's my honor. Hey, listen, just a couple more shout outs. Holly Rock, thanks for joining us. He said he learned. He said he says, I'm learning, Dan, the man from the 8th floor. Sandra Wells, thank you for joining us. Again, David Barber, I'm looking for stuff for you. DJ Exotic has a hot track out now, so he's charting on Track Source. So I'm just saying, you know, so many good people came out to see you. Hey, listen, folks, thanks for coming out and hanging out. Hey, we're going to go into the next phase of this show, into the Shazam Free Zone. And in Shazam Free Zone, we not only play it, but we say it. So we play all new tracks. And in addition to that, we tell you what it is so you don't have to go out and Shazam it or ask the DJ, what's the name of that track? What's the name of the track? We're going to tell you what it is. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, hey, Tyrone, thank you so much. I'm going to hit you up after the show. After 3 o'clock, I'm going to hit you up. I'm just super happy with this. And I just want to introduce.
Before we get off the show, stay tuned because Dan's going to do some things with me, and it's going to be major.
And vice versa. I want to introduce him. So, all right. So, Tyrone, thanks again. Thanks again for joining us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the Shazam Free Zone. We're going to start off with the track. We're going to track of the track here, and you're going to know it, and I'm going to tell you what it is. We're going to play a set. We're going to play till about 3 o'clock. We're going to be on Facebook till they shut us down, and Twitter. Although I got to say, Facebook really hasn't shutting us down lately because they don't recognize the new tracks. It'll take them about a year from now to get a thing said, oh, so-and-so just claimed your song, right. But we would have been gone and forgotten about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dan, Soulful Hot Shenanigans coming to you live from the 8th floor. Get ready. Chuck, you want to start us up?